does not smash my door.
Come on, Charles, don't do this.
Is that a bad word?
Christina Aguilera, hi. The XNDA.
You fucking look like rock stars, huh? And now we are a fucking bunch of wanko.
Michael, this is Toto. Can I just send you an email? No, Michael, that was so not right. Sorry? We went car racing.
So intros, is it going to be exactly the same as last week? You've got that little snip. Like,
I'll put that on there. Yeah. So
just love it. Just really that
have you
intro
got a beer,
music.
Brad?
Yeah, I've got a beer, but I think we just use that as the intro. I think
I've got
Boyd
Coke.
did a great job of that.
Yeah, he did a great job.
What?
Boyd not knowing when the intro is the best intro we can have.
I just love that music. It really gets me fucking pumped for the episode.
I'm really in the mood to listen to myself talk about F1.
I'm actually in a good mood today, considering the circumstances of my weekend. It's actually good. I'm up for this.
I think tomorrow you might not feel such a good
Best
mood.
Euro beer.
What
Best
is on
Euro
the? I've got a Coke Zero for anyone listening. I'm trying to.
Mate, like keeping with the times, topical. Corona.
Yeah, Corona.
Brad's got Corona.
Yeah, I'll have a pint of Corona. Hold the virus.
I did actually wake up this morning thinking I had COVID, and then I did. I did that thing. I went down to my office and set the test up, and was like, and then it just came. And I was a little bit disappointed. I didn't get 2 lines, to be honest. I felt like I failed the test.
Yeah.
All right, so should we do a proper intro?
I'm in Belgium.
Should we do a proper intro for this, or is this it?
No, we should probably do a proper one because it's a bit more. We're trying to be professional, but
We're trying to.
we'll try.
People need to know who's speaking.
Well, yeah. So obviously, shall I do the intro today?
Yeah, I think,
you
and
do
I think
it.
what you should do is you should like do it proper, like like if you were on TV and then you did it, that's what it should be. Welcome.
You want me to come in like that?
Yeah, so it's just the things
okay,
played, blah, 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 and then it's like
Remember what the podcast is called?
Well, okay. So
yeah,
we'll
it's
come in
but,
and imagine the
Boyd.
music.
It's called Three Prix.
Three Prix.
Three
Not Three Pricks.
Prix.
Pricks.
It's Three Prix.
I'm just gonna call it Pricks. That's fine.
Three Prix.
Right, okay.
It's a
So imagine the music's just coming. In comes Boydie. Hi guys, welcome to episode 2.5 of what used to be Box, but we had to change the name because there was loads of other boxes. So we are now Three Prix, or Pricks, if you want to call it that. So you're joined here today with myself, Boyd Moore, and Ben Mills and Brad Keenan. And Ben has actually dyed his hair orange. None of you will be able to actually
it's
see
just
that.
white.
Yeah, he's gone.
can-
He's
I-
gone.
I- get onto that.
He's gone proper Slim Shady.
Yeah,
Stan.
we'll get onto that
Well, and
subject
I've
later.
I've got Valtteri Bottas's facial hair as well.
How are you both anyway? I mean, I'm not being funny. I mean, I haven't spoke to you since about 2 minutes ago since you both WhatsApped me to get on here.
Well, we haven't actually spoken properly since the last episode, which is actually, I think, is a good thing. We should limit our relationship just to this podcast now,
Yeah.
except for if we
Yeah,
go
I
away.
want to talk to you two pricks all the time.
Right, so but I think I'm going to kick this off and just address a couple of things from feedback from I got from last week's episode. So there is some corrections we need to make, and this is a section we are going to be calling the correction section. Before we do that, I did have a bit of criticism for one of the guys who works for me. He said that
Criticism as well.
yeah, and he's bold. He doesn't mind criticizing me. He said I ran it like a meeting, like I was trying to keep you guys on track, and like right, guys,
Yeah,
what are we doing next? And we need a clear agenda. And what will we be doing for next week's meeting? Okay, has everyone got their agenda? Brilliant. So I'm going to try and be a little bit more free spirited today.
No, but we
Yeah?
still need you to be a little bit like that, Brad.
All right.
Because Brad's like the dad of the group, and me and Ben come a bit off piece, and then Brad has to like calm us down and go, let's get back on some subjects.
I felt
'cause
like I was
it will
bringing
just
you
go on
guys
too
back
long
around.
otherwise.
I felt like I was bringing you guys back around at times. So I don't know. Maybe you
All right,
guys just
there's
wanted
no
to.
medal,
maybe...
mate. Bringing people
No,
back
I'm
here.
saying that maybe.
You ain't mate no prizes on this show. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, we
there are
know.
no
Right.
prizes. No.
So shall we start with the correction section? I think I'll address mine first. I have got
This is probably the best
I
one.
have
This
got
is
an
a big
apology to make. So I now recognise that it's not Carlos Sainz, it's Carlos Sainz. Is it science? Science.
Signs.
Okay, so I will know
Not
science.
signs.
What, with a T?
No,
science.
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 That's it. Yeah, science.
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 Okay.
Not
I'll say it
signs.
first. Ben, you follow up. Brad, you finish. Ready? Carlos Signs.
Carlos Signs.
Carlos
Brad?
Sainz.
Yeah.
Right.
Science.
That's my
There we
main
go.
correction
Carlos
for last week.
Sainz.
Apologies to Carlos and his family. It's big disrespect, and apologies to everyone listening. that
Especially
I
his
fucked up.
cousin.
Yeah, he did
Carlos's
write in after he
cousin.
listened to our podcast and say, I was really pissed off, Brad.
Why,
He called me
why you pronounce my name wrong? I am on the
Regular
podcast and you
fast,
are getting it wrong.
So what's on the agenda this
Hold
week?
on, we're
then?
still
I
in the
suppose,
correct-
Brad,
I've
you-
got a
you normally
correction.
run it.
We're still in the
Oh, still
correction
correcting,
section.
Sorry.
I'd like to say that I was duped by fake news, and although Daniel Ricciardo's seat next year is up in the air, he hasn't retired from Formula One. I was tricked by the internet, and I'd like to apologise for just taking Instagram at face value and not doing my own research.
Big mistake.
It was bad of me. Yeah, but we have got a lot of news regarding the McLaren seat and all that coming up later. And then Boyd, what's your correction?
Sorry, I was just a dickhead last week. I don't know. I probably said a few things I shouldn't. I don't know. I don't think I had any
Yeah,
corrections.
you did.
I? Oh, my boring.
What was,
my
what was
boring
wrong with
tyres.
apart from your broken camera? What was broken about your camera, Boyd?
Oh, so that's not really correction, but
Well,
it's
correcting
got a
a
little
mistake you
flicky
made.
switch on the top that I didn't really know existed.
Didn't know it
No,
existed.
but I'll be honest. Right, for anyone out there listening,
you
there was
didn't
this little
look.
thing.
Boyd, at some
didn't know it
point,
was kids. I
at some
thought-
point, can you guys hear me all right? Because I sound a bit quiet.
No, you're fine.
I can hear you.
You sure? Okay, so
You love, yeah.
at some point you flicked your privacy camera. Is it a manual switch?
No, so I can tell you what's happened now. So basically, when you shut your laptop, there's the little tiny flickery bit at the top. I thought that was when you shut it down, it clips in and locks the laptop. You know, when it goes into its
Yeah, that's
oh,
such,
that's what I thought it was.
that's such
laptop,
bollocks.
right?
Because when
No,
you
no,
said this,
Has he got a little
no,
combination
because what
on
happened
it?
was when you said this to me, we said it in our little WhatsApp group, and you were like, "Oh, it's got a little thing," and you like waved it off. I said, "Send me a photo. Like, I need to see this switch to see how
Your
obvious it
laptop
is."
wasn't actually in my.
Yeah, I know, but
vicinity
you haven't
when I
followed it
took
up with a
photo.
picture, so I reckon it's a
a
blatant
picture now.
switch to protect yourself when you're using your
It,
laptop.
well, it is a little switch
yeah.
that goes left and right. Yeah, and
Yeah,
blocks
but at
the
some
camera
point,
off.
at some point,
know-
you
no,
switched it off. You didn't think that was a lock.
No, I know what's happened. I've got OCD, so I like to keep my laptop very clean. So I've got these cleaning wipes at work, right? So I don't. There's nothing worse when you're at work and you're showing someone your screen. There's all these dirty finger marks all over them. So I've obviously wiped the screen, and as I've come over to the left, to the right, whatever, I flicked it,
Right.
and obviously
But-
not put it back. So
Did you not look when we were going? Oh, the camera's not working. Did you not look and go? Oh, there's something covering the camera.
no, because I thought that was the
I
clip.
think-
I thought it was a clip that closed. the
Boyd,
thing.
I've known you for how many years? I mean, we're 39. I've known you since I was 11. Right, so it's 28 years I've known you, and I reckon what happened was this is my prediction. I reckon
here
you
we go,
had
here we go.
something on your face. It was like a spot or something. You panicked, and you went, "I can't be on camera with this thing on my face." So you made up a big lie, and that's where. It was.
Yeah, but geez, you can click if that's the case, you can click the button in like Teams or whatever, and just
Mate,
you
man-
wanted us to
that
think
thing,
there was an
that
issue.
thing in Zoom where you update, like fix my complexion or whatever the little button is, right?
Yeah.
I had it switched on for
Yeah.
about 2 fucking years, right? And then someone goes to me, "Oh, that thing on Zoom where it fixes your complexion," and I went into my settings and I turned it off, and I just felt like I'd aged by about 5 years, right? And I was like, "Fucking hell!" I
Turn it
I
off
honestly thought
now.
my face looked different because,
Put it back
like,
on.
all hours of the day I'm on Zoom calls, and so that's how I viewed myself, and all of a sudden I had these wrinkles all over my face.
No one really likes staring at their fucking own face down the camera, though, do they? Really?
That's,
Wouldn't it be funny?
My wife's cousin wrote her dissertation on that issue that people have, that they don't recognize themselves without a filter on Instagram. So the actual thing.
Ben, you
Depends
can't
what
recognise
filter it is,
yourself, though,
mate.
mate. You lot Slim Shady. You lot Slim Shady, mate. Who even is
Mate,
this
I know
guy?
why Ben's changed his hair is because he looks like the guy from Most Hated Man in America, and because he looks so much like him, he was
God.
probably worried someone was going to like cosh him
I
outside
think it was
outside work. So he's like, "I need a disguise. I'll go with Slim Shady in the
Yeah.
90s."
Geez, you look like that. You look like that driver for the geezer that came. I can't remember his name for Haas. Is it Mitzin or whatever? That really like moody geezer.
Oh,
It's like the
Mitzin,
car
yeah.
shit. Change it. That's how you look.
Oh,
like
fucking yeah, no way. What the rapey one that got kicked out for being Russian?
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, look, if we're
He's-
doing lookalikes,
Oh, yeah, he
I
did,
think
didn't
then
he?
you do. I mean, I think I look like Charles Leclerc. I mean, I'm just saying, Brad. Ben, agree with me. I think Brad, if I had to put you down for a lookalike, don't kill me. I think a little bit George Russell. Just because he's quite tall, he's got like a clear shape.
He looks nothing like
face.
George Russell.
Bit George
Guys,
Russell.
go on. If you don't know what Brad looks like, you can search at what's your Instagram at Digital Bradley?
No, Digital Bradley.
Does he look like George Russell?
Well, if we go
Pause.
on our Instagram account, there's a picture of me and Ben both doing the Steiner step.
Oh yes.
In the Steiner pose in front of a boat. No, it was in front of an elephant,
Yeah,
wasn't
I
it?
haven't got mine.
Was it an elephant?
Originally, but I took the boat. I just put the boat pictures. In
Oh yeah, no, it was
the ones
originally in
we
front of a statue of
photoshopped.
an elephant.
I need to get one on there. Actually, I feel a bit left out.
Yeah, it's because you were
Well,
being too cool. You
you
were like,
took-
I don't want any people seeing me doing the Steiner pose.
I was turning my cameras off again. Like, who is this man?
Yeah, a little flick over it.
So what is on the
why do you-
agenda?
All right, so the agenda today, one of the criticisms.
I'm doing the brand.
Yeah,
right
so
here
this
today.
is what I got criticised for, but we're going to do it. Was talking about what's coming up. So in today's episode, we are going to cover the news. We're not going to cover all the news. Some of it's probably not going to be true. Then we're going to move on to. We have a very special guest. We're not going to talk about it yet because we want to build some suspense.
But it's our first ever.
It's our
guest
first
as well,
ever
Chris.
guest, and it is
Really,
big. It's
really,
big.
really-
And then we're going to go on and do the game, and then
New game.
I'm just looking at notes here. I don't know weirdest things about F1. I don't know what that means, but we're going to do it. And then
I just thought, yeah,
oh yeah, okay.
My notes
What
just
is
say
your-
F1.
yeah, and then debate, and then the debate.
Okay.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
the debate. Oh yes, if we've got time for the debate, we're going to do it. But I've got one, and I think it's brilliant. Okay, right.
I've
So
got a
Ben,
brilliant one.
the,
I
new-
think
the
that-
news
I
is very
think
much your
people are gonna
sector.
actually make it. Well,
News is you, Ben.
the news.
Don't try and talk like some news reporter as well. Just talk.
This
Well,
week in
today
Formula
in the
One.
news.
Well, my first bit of news is actually probably just like a little something I noticed. But when Max Verstappen won at Hungary, he stopped Lewis Hamilton, shook his hand, and gave him a hug. That and considering
Really?
he wouldn't even look him in the eye for the rest of the since 2000.
Well,
Mate, all I love is
19, he hasn't been able to
you're
look him in the eye.
you teed up the news like
I
you were
just
going to
love the
deliver
Worst
the news,
news ever.
and your
I ju-
news was an observation about someone having a hug.
Yeah.
I think we
Yeah.
should have a talk
What
about
other
it
what
because
other observations have you made this week, Ben?
I noticed they
Oh,
pit
no, that's
stopped
what I-
at
that's the
weekend
only
and
thi-
changed their tyres.
That's the only observation that I wanted to mention because I wondered what you guys thought because I think Max Verstappen has turned a corner. I think he's actually.
What, I tell you what, I tell you what.
Turned
What I
quite
will,
a few
I will
corners.
agree with you on this because this is big news. I've been trying to get my wife to watch Drive to Survive for a while, and we watched a couple of episodes a week or so ago, and then she kind of liked it, and that's episode 2, season 1, and then yesterday she goes, "Oh, can we watch Drive to Survive?" And I was taken back. I was like, she's actually asked to watch it, so she must have really liked it. And it's that episode where Max has joined Red Bull. It's put Ricardo's nose out of joint, and Max is like, and Vicky even said, she goes, "What's wrong with that kid?" And I went, he's, and this is no offense to Dutch people, he's Dutch, so he carries a certain
and his
presence
dad's
that Dutch people
pretty pushy as well, isn't he?
maybe I don't know, but seeing how he acted in that episode versus how he is now in interviews, he does seem like he's matured.
Yeah,
that's what
He
I'm
just
saying.
and
Well,
for him to
I just think
for him to
Hamilton's
hug
so
Lewis
far
Hamilton.
behind, he don't really care anymore, does he?
Well, I think
He's
it
long
just
gone,
shows
isn't
a
he?
bit of growth, and well, he doesn't see him as a rival anymore. I think maybe, but he's coming back like Mercedes. I've just clawed back all those points from Ferrari. Like Ferrari,
I'd be
are
more worried
fucked
about Latifi, mate, or Joe Guan Yu. if I'm honest.
it.
What is it about Latifi's name that I find funny?
Mate.
It's just,
I don't
there's-
know,
and
it's
also
just-
the fact that
it's a funny name.
He's
Lafferty.
he's like 25 and he looks about 50.
Yeah, he's got to be gone. I know we did mention that last week, so we can't go over.
I don't know if he's coming back. Right. And speaking of Ferrari giving away loads of points and Mercedes picking up, old Binotto says that there's nothing to change. I think it's always a matter of confidence, learning, building experience.
Is he
building
French?
Skills. Yeah.
He is actually
It's
French.
not bad. I mean,
No.
He's
It's just
Italian,
my
right?
terrible Italian
Oh,
accent.
okay. I just
Yeah,
got
I
I got
can't-
confused
I
because you were
can't do
doing
an
a
Italian accent.
French. Just do the whole thing in a French
Oh,
accent.
I can't do it.
Just do it full French then. You might as well. You started. Start again.
Okay. So again, there's nothing to change. I think it's always a
this
matter
has
of
gone so off
confidence,
pace.
learning,
It's like a medley of all of the managers.
experience.
Fuck smashed my door.
Yeah.
Fuck smashed my door. Ferrari claim they don't need to do anything about their strategy. What do you? I think they really do.
Yeah.
Really
I don't know.
need to-
I'm actually glad the breaks. It's the little summer break because I was getting really fucked off of it. To be honest, I was getting bored of watching them mess it up every week, and I think we needed a break as well as the drivers.
We needed a break
Benitez
from
No, I was
stress.
just getting-
get a fucking
No,
haircut
because it was
and
the
just
first.
sort his life
Because
out.
it's brilliant. I think we don't need to have a break. I think we should. We're missing out by not having anything this
Oh,
week.
by the way,
We've got
boys,
nothing to talk about. We've got to make it up.
anyone listening, we all applied to win tickets for the Dutch Grand Prix. I actually got my results back today and I was unsuccessful.
We were all unsuccessful. I got everyone I know to do
We were
it,
all
and nobody's messaged me to say
Damn
we're
it.
going to the. We're going to.
Or
the
they're all
one.
going and they're not going to.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll all be posting on Instagram tagging us going, "Go, you mugs."
Just take Ash with them.
Our time will come. It's my 40th next year, so it
Well-
might be Monaco. Thinking.
Well, when
that
the
the one we wanna
podcast
do,
takes
though?
off, mate, we'll Has anyone checked
that
our
the one?
followers? Have we gone up on followers this week or not?
Well, I was going to say that we've had. I don't know how many times you listened to it because I haven't listened to the podcast. Listened back to it. We've
I
had
just put it on repeat.
36 views on YouTube and 37 downloads on Spotify and Acast, which is pretty.
Yeah, I
good
got some
considering
feedback
we didn't
actually for-
advertise.
I'd say it's pretty good.
One of my mates listened to it. I used to work with. I'll name drop him. He'll probably listen to it again. Rich from Global. Anyway, he said he really
Mate,
enjoyed it. Thought it was
global
alright.
better be paying for this, mate. We've got 36 views. That's big dollars.
And he got his missus to listen to it as well, and she said she quite enjoyed
That's
it.
good.
So, Rich, if you listen to this one,
Wow.
thanks.
I mean,
Keep listening.
it'll only get better and more polished as we go along.
Yeah,
Exactly.
thanks, Mrs. Global, as well. Did she? So she enjoyed it. Did she? Brilliant. So we
I think so.
Is that all
we're
the
built
news
for women
covered?
as well? No, we haven't even talked about the big news.
What is
The
seat.
Alpine announced a driver for
Is
2023.
it Alpine or Alpine?
Alpine.
We don't want to do another
It's-
correction section next week.
Well, it's okay.
It's Alpine,
in French,
isn't
it's Alpine, and in English, it's Alpine. All right. Anyway, they embarrassingly announced a driver for 2023 who then went to Instagram and officially said, I did not accept that seat and I didn't sign anything," which I thought was absolutely amazing.
That's pretty weird. Like, how does that
Someone's got to
happen?
get bollocked for that then. Don't know.
I think he was like, basically he's been working there at Alpine. He's been working there as like as a like reserve driver or a test driver, and he was contracted to them, but he wasn't contracted for 2023, and they had to have signed him for a certain amount of time for it to be official, and they hadn't signed it. But because Alonso had gone, I'm out, as we know, we spoke about this last week. They just assumed that he would take the spot, but I think McLaren had already offered him a spot for better money, and he got to hang out with Lando Norris, which is way better than fucking.
He gets to go to Waitrose in a McLaren, which
Exactly.
we know is you always get. That's day one.
Imagine you went down like Asda in the McLaren as well.
No,
It's like,
it's
Mazda.
Maybe
Yeah.
we'll try Lidl.
then don't have a pound for the trolley. You're like, oh, embarrassing.
I'm using one of the clean park tokens.
Yeah,
But what's his other option? Going to Carrefour in a Clio. Like, you're going to pick the McLaren. Marxism.
Carry 4. Like the way you said.
By the way, what's happened? I don't know if I'm going,
the Gion in the Clio.
crazy here, boys. What's happened to Zach Brown on that McLaren team? He's nowhere to be seen every week now. Where is he?
He's
gone?
only the
Am I
CEO.
missing
He's not a principal.
So
What
he's not-
you're doing is you're falling into the trap of Drive to Survive being real life.
Sky Sports.
Zach Brown
Yeah.
Brown is CEO. He's not the principal, the team principal,
Fine.
so he won't be on the pit line. He won't be on the pit wall. He'll probably walk around
Yeah,
in the
but
paddock.
you'd think you'd see him down there the odd time. He's nowhere to be seen. You know,
go-
Lando and
Lando.
Alonso and Lando.
His voice, man. It's just like hilarious.
Just shows.
Here's
how
a-
good
here's one
Lando
for you,
really
right?
is.
I mean, I know that we originally set this podcast up in the hope that we get free Formula One tickets, right? So I know what I'm about to say is going to really help us not get that. If you want to know why you should go to the gym and look after yourself, right? Toto and Zach are the same age.
Yeah,
They're exactly
really?
the same age, both 50.
Wow.
Toto.
Who would
looks
win in a
like
fight out of those
fucking
two, though?
Terminator, doesn't he?
Like,
Toto.
I think
I'm not
Brown
sure.
would have
He
him.
would just go. He would.
You
just
don't
like,
talk
do
to
like,
Lando like that. And he's whacking him, wouldn't he? Look, you can't punch me in the face like that. Ugh. But then he would
I
be
will
fighting
do your top,
Schwarzenegger, wouldn't he? Yeah, exactly. So
It'd
or
got-
maybe Toto.
yeah.
I reckon Toto does at least 3 different martial arts.
Toto looks like an old Jim Carrey, doesn't he? slash.
Do you
Arsene
think
Wenger
everyone
for
looks like
Arsenal.
Jim Carrey?
And the guy in Ibiza looked like Jim Carrey.
Exactly, and he didn't. Neither of them
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, I googled. What's the guy? Zach Brown? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Zach Brown.
googled Zach Brown martial
Zac
arts,
Efron.
and nothing came up. So I'm pretty sure Toto's going to win.
Yeah.
Fine.
Zach Brown. Is there a more American looking guy than Zach Brown?
He walks like an American, doesn't he? He's got a proper like little bowl on him.
I reckon he's in Vegas right now.
Every weekend.
And
Yeah.
Zachary
Well,
Challen
apart from
Brown.
Formula One weekends.
I reckon every Monday after the Formula One, he's going to collect his winnings from when he bet on Red Bull or Ferrari.
Or
Not
Latifi
McLaren.
not to score a point, guaranteed.
Yeah, I bet
Yeah.
$10,000 that Latifi doesn't score a point. There you go.
You know, like in Back to the Future, right? You know, in Back to the Future when he goes like and gets the sports almanac, right? Could you imagine if he'd done that with F1, right? He goes and gives himself the almanac, and it's like, yeah, like Latifi's going to win. It's over, but I reckon it'd be something like that. You could just guarantee that Latifi's never getting any points from the almanac.
No, because Latifi has got points, right?
He's got no. He's one of the only ones I swear on the grid to have not scored 1 point. Unless I've got that wrong.
Latifi.
Do you think it's quite bad that we're
How
doing
many-
an F1 podcast and
He
none of
said-
us, I was going to say
No,
this is
because
Formula
I'll tell you,
One,
I'll
but
tell you
glad
what
have,
was
yeah.
interesting. Like during the week, when I realised that there was already a podcast called Box, I had a little like skim listen to some of the other podcasts. There are some fucking nerds out there making Formula One podcasts. So boring. Like
we look actually
mate,
a little bit
I
cool.
listened to. I
7
won't
points
say
last
which
season.
one it was. I listened to these two guys. They were rabbiting on about the only people in the world that would find that interesting is those two people. It was so boring, and I was like,
What were they talking about?
I think they were talking about threading on carbon fiber or something, like the difference, like there's like different levels of carbon fiber, and and it was just like,
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus, this is proper boring, and then I switched it off. So, and that's where the moment I realised Box is the thing, but I guarantee no one else has called their Formula One podcast Three Prix.
So where do you
No,
think we're
I've
stacking up,
looked.
Brad? Then next to these other
I think as
little
far
sort
as
of
I think
casters
as far
More
as Formula
exciting.
One podcast
Mid-range.
goes, Formula One podcasts go where you want to listen to people who don't know what they're talking about. I'd definitely say we're up there.
10 out of 10.
I'd say we're top 10 podcasts about something that they don't know anything about.
We're there. We're there.
Yeah. So Latifi scored 7 points last year. So Zach Brown, if he'd gone back in time, he would have probably put a bet on that. I would have put like.
I like how Boyd
a
says
point-
almanac as well.
Almanac. Oh, almanac.
Almanac.
Let's say it.
Sports almanac.
Is it? It's an,
It is
it's
the
an
almanac, right?
almanac.
It's almanac.
Almanac.
In the film,
Yeah, because
He said
you're doing
almanac.
that. You're
I
doing
don't
that
even
thing.
never heard the
You're
word.
doing that thing that my kids do, and they listen to a film. It's in American, and then they use the word, and it's like, well, that's not how we say it.
I've never heard the word almanac outside of Back to the Future.
No.
Except for when Boyd said it then.
Yeah. So then basically,
It's
sum up
an
my
annual.
story.
What it is an annual.
Yeah,
Sports annual.
I was actually trying to see. I
15.
might even have an almanac on my desk somewhere.
Steiner would be the one to go in the machine as well and get
what
the book, bring
almanac
it back
have
and
you
go,
got?
I've got all the results.
Fucking hell, we fucking lose every fucking match.
It's been a tough
Match
season for
race.
Haas, so I need to at least win some money while I'm here.
Going to
Did you
Vegas
see,
with Gene Haas. Mate, he might as well.
yeah.
He might as well go to Vegas. Do you know what I mean? The amount of money he must be spending on that team to get nothing back, pretty much nothing back. Like what is he making from that?
Well,
It's got to be costing him.
don't they have a deal with Ferrari?
serious
though?
funds?
So if they're Ferrari's like junior team, aren't they? Like
Or like they're
AlphaTauri
guinea
are
pigs.
to
Like they
Red
get the
Bull.
engine. They go, I think
Yeah.
this is going to be all right. It's just like, Haas. Can you just go and do a couple of
Box,
laps and the thing
box,
fucking
box.
blows up?
box.
Right, is that the
Hey,
end
we've
of
got
the
a new
news?
engine.
I'm doing
That's
that thing
pretty
where I'm
much-
Wait,
keeping
there's
it
no
on track.
news. It just goes off piece. I thought we finished the news.
No,
there,
because
didn't
we've got
we?
a special
It's-
guest coming
What
up.
Well,
Special
Alpine
guest.
didn't know about Alonso's move until Aston Martin did did their press release. So that was a sneaky move from Alonso. And I feel like it just adds to the level of sneak that I think we already established that we think he has.
Yeah. Ben, quick question for you. I thought of this before I came on this night, and I know you'll do it, and it's just really stupid and childish. Can you hum the F1 theme tune?
Me? I don't know it.
You don't know it? Come on.
What? I don't know if I can.
Boyd, you should do it. You do
Uh,
it
So,
first.
are you live? Are you
You
live
do
in
it.
Brussels as well? By the way,
It's a good-
You coming to us live from Brussels?
Coming to us live.
Shit signal. If you see Van Damme out there
Well,
getting his
yeah.
autograph.
Yeah.
Do you know about when?
Go on,
do you
do
know
you-
about when Joe got Van Damme's autograph? No, not his autograph.
No.
We met him. It's the most crazy story, right? So Joe was over in California on business, and he went to Gold's Gym. So he's in Gold's Gym with his girlfriend, and Van Damme is in Gold's Gym. Is it Gold's Gym? Is that the famous gym? Anyway,
Yeah,
so
it's
Van
Gold's
Damme's in there, and Joe's like Van Damme's like Joe's childhood hero. So Joe goes, it's Van Damme over there, and so his girlfriend's like, "Oh, you should go and talk to him." And he's like, "No, we're going to go talk to him." Anyway, they go over and basically end up talking to Van Damme. And then his girlfriend does this thing where she tells Jean-Claude Van Damme, and Jean-Claude Van Damme, bearing in mind, he wants to be seen because he's wearing a hat that says JCVD on the front. Right, the picture is fucking crazy, right? Like, why would you have that hat on? I am me.
Longest initials ever.
Look, on my hat. So his girlfriend sort of tries to mug Joe off by going, when Joe was a kid, he used to wear cowboy boots and a white vest so he could look just like you. And she was expecting Jean-Claude Van Damme to go, of course, why would he wear that stupid clothes? But obviously, Jean-Claude Van Damme thinks those clothes are cool. So he was just like, yeah, like they are cool. And then that was it. And then they walked off.
That was
Yeah,
it.
well, that's all he ever does wear,
obviously-
doesn't he? That vest
And for all the
in
people
Hard
out there who
Target.
don't know who Joe is, when we respond to it, he's someone we know.
With someone we know. So it's an
yeah,
inside
So,
joke.
Joe, you've had a shout out.
And a little
He'll be
inside
loving
joke
this.
for you guys there. Joe listened to. I spoke to Joe because I went to lunch with him the other day, and he listened to the first 15 minutes of the podcast. He said it was really good, but he didn't listen
What
to the whole
about,
thing.
what about the other bit of it?
Well, he just said that was a really good 15 minutes of time. I won't continue to listen because I have no.
Well, mate, the
interest
first 10
in
minutes
F1.
was us putting our phones on fucking aeroplane mode. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so he has no interest in F1, so he just.
Well, if we
listens to
tell
the
him,
standard.
he's got a shout out in this little
Yeah, but
episode.
we'll say
No,
it's at the
better
end
we
as
just
well.
tell him to listen to the whole
We'll
podcast
say it's at 48
and then not
minutes.
tell him he's got a shout out. And if he doesn't mention it, we know he didn't listen.
Exactly.
And he's a liar and we cut him out of our friend group.
Yeah.
Joe's lies. He's very good at
Yeah.
impressions, though. We should maybe get him on here one week.
So
No, we'll just use him as a tool.
Yeah. He could do a toto. I reckon he could definitely do a toto. couldn't he?
We got that guy's ringing up in a minute.
yeah,
I've got to
we
ring that guy
have.
up, the
We're gonna.
special guest.
I've got him here. I'm going to bring him in a second. I do have a bit of a technical difficulty though, because I know we agreed as a group what questions I'd ask him, and I can't find out where they were. So was it on our WhatsApp group?
It's on our WhatsApp group, I think, or it might be in.
Boys,
your-
we're already half an hour
Do we have
into
to?
this
Do I have
little
to stick
bad
to
boy.
those questions exactly, Ben? Do you think it will spook him out if I start asking different questions, or do you think he'll be all right?
I don't. I don't think he actually read the questions you sent him. He just put. He has a.
All right,
he's
so
got- he's got an agenda. Let's just say that.
So let me tee this up. I think I'll lead this bit. Boyd, you can support, and
Oh, come on, please. I'll fuck it up, basically, yeah.
No, you just ask this guy some questions.
Yeah, Boyd.
I've
Boyd.
actually got to pop. I've actually got to pop out.
Oh, you're not
to
able
go
to
the
make
shop.
this bit, Ben.
I don't think I'll be.
It's
able
gonna be the best
But
bit.
If I might come back.
Mate,
in
he's made a
time.
lot
I've
of
just gotta
effort to
go.
guide. All right, fine.
I've just got to go somewhere just quickly, guys. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. All right, Boyd. So last week we were talking about getting someone on from, and we were going to find out
Yep.
what happened. Well, basically, I had a word with some mates of mine, and they know someone, and so I chatted to him during the week, and I said, look, we've got this podcast going. It's getting some traction. It's got 30 or so people listening to it.
30.
And I said, could you
Right.
come on and we'll ask you questions about your job and you can answer them. And then he did get a bit spooked because basically he said that this is quite common that people want to know what's going on behind the scenes at the company he works at.
Quick.
Well, we can't mention the name of the company because it could be liable. So we also can't mention his name, right? So we're going to go with, we're just going to call him Kevin, but that's not his name. And then when we edit this podcast afterwards, we are going to have to distort his voice in case that could identify him. So I'm just gonna patch him in now. So you there, Kevin? Kevin? You there?
All right,
Come, Kev. Come out.
I'm all right.
Come on.
I'm here.
You all right, Kevin? How you doing?
Yes, I'm here.
Did it freak you out that I called you Kevin and that's not your real name? And then you didn't know who I was talking to?
What? I don't know who the fuck Kevin is. Like, just say, that's my name. Don't have to say Kevin. It's not my name.
All right.
You make sure you bleep that name out though, because I don't want my name on any of your podcast. I've heard what you've said about us.
Well, basically, what we were saying, we
Right,
weren't
calm down,
we
Kev.
weren't trying to be disrespectful. Basically, what we were saying is, if you work
Well, it
in
sounded it. It sounded it.
if you work in a job where you see on TV every other weekend people changing tires in 2.5 seconds, right? Does it not make you feel bad about your job when you take like 2.5 hours to do it? Let's be honest. Like you haven't even,
Or half a day.
it's a long time, and I wondered like,
You
what
ta-
happens?
Are you
behind
taking the piss?
No, I'm not taking.
Are you taking the piss? They got one fucking bolt and there's one person on each tire. What are you talking about? I could do a whole set of fucking wheels in about an hour. That's impressive. Off, change the fucking tire, back on. You're fucking no. That's why I was pissed. When I listened to your podcast last week, I thought you guys were a bunch of fucking clowns. Don't laugh.
Kevin, you got to calm down,
Sorry,
mate.
mate. No.
We're gonna have to bleep this all over the place.
No, you slight on me and my trade that I've slaved over and I've done so much, learning and training to get what I am.
How
And
many
you
hours
just-
training was it?
Like 6 to 7 hours in
Sounds tiring.
Derbyshire, which is
But do you not want to live
quite
up to the
far
name
from
a bit?
Willow.
Kev, do you not
No,
want to
no,
live up to the name a bit?
Boyd.
Quick Fit?
We can't say where he works. We have to
Oh.
we have to bleep when Ben gets back. We'll have to tell him to bleep that out because we can't have being told off. They could end up being a client of mine. So,
No, you said the name.
no, I'm saying
We
Yeah,
said
sorry, mate,
specifically
sorry.
you
We'll
won't say the name.
We won't put it on there. Sorry,
we'll
mate.
cut that bit out. So let's
down, Kev.
swiftly get through the questions, Kevin, because this has gone in a different direction than what I was expecting. So I'm interested to know not only, I mean, we've covered off the duration of how long it takes to change a tire. I'm not 100% sold on your answer, but I've never done it. So when you
Exactly, you've never
when
done
you
it.
go and check in to have your tires changed, you always have a computer, and it's looks like the oldest computer on earth. And then when you're checking in the car, it seems like you're on that.
You don't need a computer to change. You don't need a computer to change tires. That computer is there merely to book in people, and you don't even need that because we used to do it on a piece of paper with carbon paper because that was the way to do it. That was
Pink
the right way to
sheets.
do it.
Was it pink?
Yes,
sheets?
a pink sheet.
So
Because
Kev,
then you know who. Because then we know which one's for the customer. You idiot.
Kev, if I'm coming in then, and what details are you putting into this old sort of like Atari computer of yours then?
Name, registration, postcode, telephone number, so we can call you to come back and get your car.
No, you don't need to call me because I have to sit in that
So-
little booth thing with the old magazines.
You can go. You can go. We don't
Yeah,
want you
also-
sitting there.
Kev,
We don't
also as
want you
well.
there.
Yeah, I
We
mean-
don't want to go. People watching us like we're zoo animals. While we're changing your tire for you. You're watching us, drinking your little coffee. Your free coffee, mind
Do
you.
you drink the same coffee as us, or is this a bit of an Animal Farm situation where it's
No, we use Nescafe. It's better.
you-
We use instant because it tastes nice. Not that crap from that machine.
Oh, also, Kev, the magazines that are in there, like where do they come from? Whose idea is it to put them in there? Because they're sort of like Auto Trader and all that sort of stuff, aren't they? And sort of Top Gear mag.
Yeah, you like
We get them from the
front
library.
page is like brand new Ford coming to market, and you go, "Fuck, what is it?" And it's like it's a Sierra, and you go, "What's happening?"
1989
Fucking magazines.
Ford
calling it-
Cosworth.
So I wondered, you say you get them from the library, rent?
No, we don't get it from the library. I was being facetious.
Leave,
I
leave
don't know. They
Kev,
just arrived.
Kev, leave the comedy to us. You just answer the questions. So the magazines, are they your old magazines
They're
that
just
you've
there.
you've read?
If
Well, they
I'm
must come
honest,
from
mate, they've been
somewhere.
there since I've never,
It's like
I've never
edition
seen them
2 of
arrive.
Auto
It's
Trader.
the- It's the same. Those, if I'm honest with you, those are the same magazines that were there with the day I started, and I've never read them, and no one reads them. They just pick them up. They realise it's from 1989, and they put them back down again. But to be honest, if you in this day and age, you just look at your phones because everyone just looks at their phones.
So how long have you been doing the tyres then, Kev? What made you
About
get into
6
it?
months.
6 months.
Well, my dad did it, and then when he died, they needed to replace him. Like I said, it's 6 to 8 hours training to get it done, and I'm probably the best one there.
And tyre situations then, what's one of the most difficult to fit?
What question?
Your low profiles, probably your low profiles, or your big 4x4 ones, the ones that have like got a lot of like protection.
A tractor
But
ones.
your low profiles, Your rude boys or your tractors, they're your ones. They're your ones you need to worry about.
Right. Cool.
All right, I think this section might be wrapping up now. I feel like we've come to an actual conclusion. I'm just trying to think if I've got any more. Oh, I have got one last question for you, Kevin. You said you listened to the podcast last week. Obviously, weren't happy about what we were saying, but we're always open.
No, you're mugging us off.
No, we weren't. But outside of
You were mugging us off.
outside of that, have you got any feedback for us? How we could do a better job next time? Or outside of that, so we've finished talking about the tyre thing. Like, how could we make our podcast better?
You run the thing like a meeting. It's so boring when you run it like a meeting.
Is that? I think Ben might be coming back now. So, are we going to say goodbye to Kevin? Really appreciate you taking the time, Kevin. I know.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Make sure
appreciate
you
coming
bleep
in,
my,
Kev,
make
obviously.
sure you bleep that fucking when you say the company name, because I'll be up shit creek. if
No,
they hear
well,
that.
we'll definitely take it out, mate. And obviously, thanks for your time. And also, didn't mean to get you a bit riled up there because you got a bit stressed.
Well,
there, didn't
don't
you?
mug us off then.
No, it generally
do-
weren't mean to mug you off.
Don't mug
no.
us off.
That's all right.
All right, see you later, fellas.
Cheers, Kev.
Cheers, Kev.
Fucking hell. That was intense.
Is he gone?
Get Ben back.
Did he
Fucking
go?
hell. Yeah, mate.
Yeah,
he's
you
gone,
missed.
mate.
You missed a blinder, mate.
Ah,
He got a bit
He really-
wound up, mate. To be fair.
I mean,
feel
we
like-
did slag off
put it
his
this way.
job.
Put it this way, I think our guests can only get better from this point onwards. We've started off at ground zero, and we're going to build upon that.
Well,
Ben,
So-
he works for
Ben,
he works for a big tire changing company, right?
Yeah,
I think
Well,
we
yeah,
can
I
only,
actually
we
said
can
the
only
name
go
and-
up from there.
I've
We
said
will
the
have-
name,
you said-
Ben. I think we might have to take it out. He got
We will
oversold
have-
up when I said the name.
we will have to blip. The amount of times you say we're going to have to, there's more bleeping you're going to have to do, Ben, because we can't have that in there.
What are they going to do? Got
Well, they might end.
I don't know, but
60
Brad,
listeners.
he was a bit rowdy, mate. I don't want him.
Mate,
fucking
he will
coming
report
after me.
us. Kevin, I think we should bleep out our whole thing, to be honest. But let's go from right. Again, I'm keeping us on track. We're
Here we
moving
go.
to
Dad's back.
we're moving to the regular
CEO, Brad.
This actually, there was a lot of feedback from last week from friends of mine, and the two biggest bits of feedback was people loved the game, loved the name of the game.
Of
most
course, they
importantly.
fucking loved the game.
And
man.
the other thing people said to me is like, what the fuck are Ben and Boyd thinking about that they could race a Formula One car? And then someone pointed out to me that listen, they said, unless you drive a Formula One car, right, at a certain speed, it won't even turn. So
No, I heard this.
I
so
know this.
they were like, unless you were really like you really had guts, you'd basically just go off at the first. James said, my brother said, you'd have gone off at the first
You
corner.
do a Yuki Tsunoda.
Ah,
you
what
just
does he
fucking
know?
go
But
straight
we're
into
not
the
we're
wall.
not really.
He's never driven one either.
It's game time. That's my what do they call it?
I feel
Game
like
show
Brad.
voice.
I know who you're like, right? So each day you're the designated game man. He's like sort of. Do you remember Funhouse? He's like the Pat Sharp, isn't he? Like fucking like running it, hosting it. Remember that?
It's funny you should say
Funhouse,
that.
It's a quiz. It's a race.
It's a
real
real
wacky
wacky
race.
funny you
Okay,
say that.
so-
I was in the
so
pub
this-
on Friday, and for some reason the twins from Funhouse came up in conversation. And the question is, were they fit, or did we just think they were fit because we were younger and we thought they were fit? Turns out they weren't fit.
Probably. I mean, I can Google it later on. We'll have a look.
The worst bit was though.
but
The
we
main
don't wanna-
prize
this-
was. The main prize, can I just say, was like a trip to Doncaster for a weekend. You know when you hear the little cock.
Mate, I would-
Main prize, cock-a-doodle-doo. Yeah, she won a trip to Doncaster for 2
It's a
days.
trip to
All right.
Doncaster. But the
Right, we'll
go-karts,
come back
I
off
would-
that, go on.
the go-karts though were sick.
Go on, Brad.
Even
Brad
though
Sharp,
they're
get
about
on with it.
1
Yeah.
So what is it when a feature starts on a radio show and you play a little bit before
A
it?
jingle.
I'll do my own jingle and then you can record it and you can play it again next week, or I can just do it every single week.
Just do it every
Ready?
week because it might get better.
It's game time. There you go. You like that?
Yeah, I really like that.
Okay,
Yeah,
and
that's
every week I invent a new game, and I do have to just give a little shout out today because I had a pretty stressful day. My daughter Ophelia did help put this game together, but I did give her clear direction, but she did a cracking job. So big up to Ophelia. Right, this week's game is Hamilton, racer or theatrical rapper.
Oh,
Okay,
that
so
is good.
I
like this.
will be reading quotes.
This is
and
gonna
you
be
have to
really
tell me
hard,
whether
isn't it?
was Lewis Hamilton. Do you know what?
This
It
is gonna
blew
be
my
so
mind,
hard.
right? Because everything in Hamilton, Lewis
sounds
Hamilton
like
could
Lewis
have said,
yeah.
and vice versa, right? So,
Oh god, this is
so
gonna be
you,
so difficult.
so you have to. So we've got 5 questions. It's 20 points each, and then we go with the bonus points
bonus,
at the end. We
make
don't
a
know.
bonus
We don't know how many they're going to be. It's a bit It's a bit Ferrari. Anything can happen at the last second. I might just tell you to box, call it in, lose. We don't know.
These games,
Right.
then, can I just ask as well quickly? Ben won last week, right? So are we going to keep a little track of this and then?
I mean, it's really just for bragging rights. We'll probably make some prize at some point.
I feel like when someone loses and when someone wins and takes victory after a certain amount of episodes, there's got to be like a bit of a forfeit or something at the end.
I think.
Or like a gunge tank. That's like that's
Yeah.
Funhouse, right? Gunge tank.
Funhouse, gunge tank.
Welcome to Bradley Keenan's Funhouse.
Gunge,
It's game
gunge.
time.
Gunge.
Gunge. Right. So here's quote number 1. So remember, we have to say Lewis or Hamilton. If you say Hamilton, that's the theatrical performance. Now, have either of you been to see Hamilton?
Nope.
No,
Okay,
Not
good.
even seen it on Disney.
I've not
Okay.
even seen any Hamiltons. Not even Lewis. Not even Hamilton. So this is
Okay.
interesting.
So are you aware of Hamilton, the
Mhm.
play? Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Right. So quote number 1: got a lot further by working a lot harder. Is that Hamilton, the racer, or the theatrical rapper?
I'm going to go with Lewis, the racer.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Lewis, the racer.
You are both wrong. It was Hamilton the musical.
Oh, this is so hard.
It's so
This is
hard.
gonna
It
be
really is.
I couldn't
Because I
imagine
felt
Lewis
like
saying
last week because we did the dry run of Toto Man Bam Pan, and then when I had to do it the second time around, it was too easy. This is brilliant.
This
And
is hard. That
I'm
could
not-
have been bang on Lewis, couldn't it? Just work
Yeah.
harder, work harder.
I've got
Okay,
a dream, kids. Got a
um,
dream.
Never give up.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
You knock me down, but I get up twice as strong.
Lewis the driver.
Lewis, the
racer,
driver. Lewis, the driver.
That's off Drive to Survive. I swear he goes, I'm going to come back at you extra harder.
Everybody's got a target on their back next season.
It is Lewis the driver. So that's
Yes.
20 points each.
Neck and neck, Benny boy.
And bearing in mind that this could be Alexander Hamilton, the person saying this as well. So it doesn't necessarily, don't just think of it just in general rap terms. Okay, so the third quote is, I've accomplished more than I ever dreamed, but I'm hungry for more.
Lewis, the driver.
Driver.
You are both correct.
Yes.
It's Lewis the driver.
40 points, Ben.
We're going to win this
Okay.
together. We're going to both get gunged.
You don't win unless you play the game.
Oh, that literally could be Lewis, the driver. Again.
These
Just
could
imagine
all
going,
be
you
Lewis the
can't
driver.
win if you don't
I'm
play
going to
the
go.
game.
I'm going to go with Hamilton, theatrical rapper.
Boyd?
I think it is that. But I want to try and get ahead of you. So I'm going to go with Lewis, the driver. But I think Ben is correct.
Well, congratulations, Boyd. You are correct.
Yes!
You're not.
Ah!
No, hold on.
Oh,
You
what?
didn't let me finish my sentence. Boyd said, I think Ben's correct. I said, congratulations, Boyd. You are correct. You are not correct. So
Fuck.
Ben gets 20 points. Well done, Ben.
You double back to
60-40.
me there, geez. Oh.
60-40.
Okay, and this is for the final one before we go into the bonus points. I want to crush everyone. I want to outsmart everyone.
Play Hamilton. I'm going the theatrical because
I'm going Lewis, the driver.
Yeah, I'm going theatrical play.
No, Lewis, this is not right. This is not right. It's not
Okay.
right.
It was Lewis Hamilton.
Yes!
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Hold on, Boyd. How many
80-40.
points?
I was on
8.
40.
I was on 80.
Okay, for 41 points.
This is a
Oh, fuck off.
Alexander Hamilton died when he was 32. The first person to tell me, and you can only answer this correctly, if you don't get it correctly, you get out. The first person to tell me how many championships Lewis Hamilton had won by the time he was 32 gets 41 points.
But by the time the first person to tell you how.
So
many-
Alexander Hamilton died when he was 32. How many championships did Lewis Hamilton have by the time he was 32?
How old's Hamilton now?
Well, that's the point, right?
Well,
Yeah, I'm not going to help you, Boyd.
He had. Right, look, boy goes first.
No,
You're
you
just
the
gonna
first
do
one
the
to
I've
say
got
it.
the most. I've got the
again.
most points.
First one to say it.
Oh, 4.
4. Oh, fuck.
Is there a delay there? Ben's in
4, I said.
I said 4.
Yeah, I think Ben cut out. I didn't really hear what he. No, Ben, you got it.
Because he's in
You-
Brussels.
Ben, you said it first with 81 points. Ben is the winner. No, 122
2-0.
points.
2-0.
Well done, Ben. Fuck's sake.
It's 2-0.
I definitely said that first. There was a delay because of the Brussels thing or whatever.
That was an excellent
Cameras were
game.
blurred.
That was
Yeah,
a
that was
great-
good,
that
well
was
done. Good
that
game.
was better than Toto or Toto.
What
Well
happened
done.
to Christian Horner or Christian fucking...
Oh yeah,
Uh,
Christian.
well, I was-
Christian.
Yeah, I'll do that again. I was a bit worried you two might have been swatting up in Genesis. So I thought, yeah, he might have gone off and just gone to Bible studies or something.
Definitely wouldn't have
okay.
done that, but
That was
So it's
really good.
Ben, you're 2-0 up now on episodes
I
on
know.
games. Bastard.
yeah,
So it's a long
So-
way to go yet, mate.
there's a long way to go. We don't know. We have no end in sight, so we don't know when you're getting gunged.
Neither
I
does
think,
Latifi.
I think I've got a few up my sleeve, so we'll keep going. It
there
became
a
like
debate
another
this week?
task for me during the week, though. Like, you know, you've got certain things you do in a week, and I was like, I've got a game coming up, and I need to like think about it. So, like,
Yeah, to be fair,
No
you
idea.
boys are pretty good at that, to be fair.
I like
you
the
both
fact that we don't know
texting
what the
games.
game. I don't know. I like
Like,
the
you
fact
know,
that we
we
don't
should-
know what the game is. That's nice.
yeah, I
Yeah,
might,
that
I,
is
might,
it.
I might mix it up next week, so it's not like a quotes based thing. It might be something a little bit different because I feel it.
Are you guys happy for me to just still carry on as I am? Just no input, just come on and just freestyle a bit,
100%.
yeah? Because
Yeah,
Boyd,
I think-
I'm honest.
Too many chefs and all that.
I
Told
think
you, mate,
we let you try to create something once, which was your game, which was name all the Formula One drivers. It's the worst game ever. So you
Yeah, Brad,
immediately
you
got,
couldn't even,
you got demoted to funny guy.
Brad, you couldn't even name all the drivers. That's the worst like F1 fan ever.
Name
No,
them
I'm
now.
perfectly
Name
qualified
them.
for this.
All right, name
Name
them
them, boys.
to keep your title of being
No,
Pat
no,
Sharp.
No, you
Brad
boys.
Sharp.
You
name them.
You name
Oh,
them.
me name them.
You
Yeah,
just
go.
said you
All right.
can't go.
All right, you count them on your fingers then. So right, here we go. So you got Max Checo, Leclerc, Sainz, Ricciardo, Lando, Ocon, Alonso, Guan Yu, Bottas.
10 to go, boys. 10 to go.
Seb, Stroll, Lewis,
I like it while you're talking about like
Russell.
his mates.
Russell, who's down the bottom there? Albon, Latifi, Sonoda, Gasly. I've pretty much done them all, no?
You got 2
18,
more.
you've got 2 to go.
Oh, what car is it? What am I forgetting here? Oh, yeah. K-Mag and fucking Mick Schumacher. Boom!
Yes, boys.
Motherfucker.
Nailed it.
That was very
Yes.
good.
Yes. We
Very
officially
good,
are the
mate.
only Formula One podcast congratulating ourselves for knowing all the names.
I'm really sweating. I was sweating doing that. The pressure was unreal. All right, I've got one. I've got Ben. I'm
No,
gonna throw
it's
one
not a
back at you.
game. You
No,
don't.
I'm
no,
throwing
You're
one
yeah,
back.
you
hijacking
just
the
know-
game section.
That game's
All right,
got.
fine.
That was just because you were bragging about how you could do it, and you did it. Well
I
done.
did shit
You
myself
smashed
then. I
it.
thought, fuck, I
You
better
smashed
do
it.
this.
Well done. You
Yeah,
have
mate,
humbled me with your ability to name.
I've just
all those.
proved to all the listeners that we know our shit about F1.
You know your shit. You can name.
You know the
can
names.
Remember.
Yeah.
You can remember some names.
But you should see with that kind of knowledge, you should try and get on the guest spot of that podcast I was listening to the other day. I reckon you'll get along with those guys. I might start
name,
trash talking them on Instagram.
name all 30 entrants
Shit,
to the
boys, we're at
1999
47
Royal
minutes,
Rumble.
Hold on, no, it's Nick. No, it's not a
Debate
WWE podcast. Move on. Move on.
Debate.
I might actually get
Ignore-
instead of saying what's coming up next, I might use the buttons on my podcast roadcaster thing and just put some like
Oh, we've got.
like,
There's
just
built in. They're built into
cancel
Riverside
thing,
as well.
just like move on. All right,
They've-
we might start using some real time special effects next week.
That'd be brilliant.
So we move
It's only
into
gonna
the
get better, guys.
we're
It's only
moving
gonna
into
get
the fourth quarter of the hour. And the next section, which I don't even know what it is called Weirdest Things About F1.
This is just something well,
Who's
it's
made
the
this
weirdest.
up then?
I noticed this about 3 weeks ago, and it's that really weird parade that the drivers do in like old cars. Have you noticed it? Have you ever seen it?
What?
Yeah.
They do
They
a
get
little
in the
parade
classic
round
car
the-
before the
you
race
get
and
a
both
little
drivers
classic
sit and,
car
like,
and they just
wave,
like
like-
drive around the track. Go, oh hello, in like an old car that has no correlation to their like team or anything. It's really weird. I just thought
You've been
I just
admiring
couldn't-
quite a lot of stuff recently. The handshake. the
Yeah,
old
it's
classic
like
car.
we should
yeah,
change
but-
the name of this podcast to Ben Notices. It's just observations
Ben's
from Ben.
admiration.
there's
Yeah.
just going to be a little sec every now and again. I'll make a jingle that just goes, Ben's noticed something. Anyway, do you know sometimes before races they all drive around in old cars,
Yeah.
and then you can go
No,
on.
it is a bit. It is quite
weird.
cool, but weird.
I think
Yeah.
that, like when Leclerc wrote off that Ferrari, it was a Ferrari, wasn't it? He drove and he smashed it into the wall.
Oh, what in Baku?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did think those kind of things are a bit weird, where you got these guys that they make a shit ton of cash. It's really fucking important that they're not injured, and they seem to do a lot of stuff which, like, even when I was watching Drive to Survive, obviously, episode number 3, season 1, when Ricardo jumps in that pool, he's quite close to smashing his. 'Cause he's a tall bloke.
Yeah.
He's quite
Yeah.
close to smashing his face on the other side of the pool, and I think, mate, just be safe because this
Yeah.
is your income. Like,
Plus, as
driving
well, they
around,
did a charity.
like,
Did you see the charity football match they did the other day? It was Leclerc, Sainz, and Gasly, and a couple of them. Imagine one of them just like broke their ankle or something.
yeah, it's like absolutely
Use
not.
it
I just,
yeah.
Imagine
Yeah,
that
it's-
going into Toto going, mate, just he came in a bit, we're playing 5-a-side last night, can't race, sorry.
one of our mates broke his ankle going to playing football, and then when he went to A&E, the doctor went to him, I assume your football club will be like getting you private treatment for this. And then our mate went, no, I don't play for a real football club. And the guy went, that's right, you're too old, you need to stop playing football. just like don't play football, it's really fucking dangerous, and you're too old to play Sunday. And Sunday league football, it's just like, surely it's just a
so
load of
vicious
thugs
as well. Isn't it? Yeah.
scissor kicking each other. It's just like, anyway, it's not a football podcast.
It's
move
not
on.
football. Yeah.
So
yeah, that was,
that
just
the
an
end of that
that
section? That was it.
another observation that I've got that I had whilst watching Formula One was I think it's weird that they do a little drive around in little shit cars when they like no one gives a fuck about.
I think you need to up your game.
Yeah,
Right, well,
so
no,
I don't think
I'm
we'll
going to
be doing that
continue to
section
make
again, but,
rubbish.
He's sweating there now, isn't he? Look.
He is. He's on there. He's little like shit builders
He's
at the
a-
hotel.
His
He's
little
got no
Eminem
aircon.
haircut, look.
I've got loads.
Mate, you need to go in the bathroom and talk to yourself in the mirror like Eminem does in that film. Just keep got one shot to come up with
vomit
a
on
feature
the
for the
sweater.
podcast.
What's the missus saying about your Barnet?
She was there when it happened.
She like it?
Yeah, she didn't mind it.
I think it's
not
all right. You've always been out there quirky.
Oh, you can
me
imagine.
and
Katie, can you come and help me with the bleach? I think
No,
I've
my
got it on
sister
my
did-
neck and it's starting to burn.
my palms are sweaty.
sister-
Mum's spaghetti.
My sister did it in her back garden yesterday.
The old back
That's all
garden, back garden cut,
Right.
COVID cut out in the garden.
Anyway, we're moving to
Look, we're
listen,
coming off
enough
break.
about
Bring
my
it back. Bring it back.
enough about my hair that
Mate,
no one can see. Let's
it
move
was
on
so
to the
funny.
debate.
When this is completely this
The
is nothing
debate
to
is
do
your
with Formula
Barnet,
One,
isn't it?
right? During COVID, I was shaving my own head, right? So I was going out in the garden every couple of weeks and just
Weren't
shaving
we
my
all?
head. And then at one point, I left it really quite long, and it got like a little like mini like Lego man haircut where it was all the same length. And I shaved all my hair and like left it on the grass, and then I went away for like whatever, like came back in the afternoon, and all the hair had gone. And I thought, that's really weird. And then I noticed there was like a bird who'd like used it all in his like nest outside my office. So he'd just gone, that's a lovely blanket. So he's just using my
Brad
COVID
hair.
cut. I know. Still a little bit of grey in the front. He was
Yeah.
loving it. So in the final section of the podcast, and this is the debate section. It's really popular.
It's the
last week with
weekly
our listeners.
debate.
And the idea we had for the debate this week was not necessarily a debate where we disagree with each other and just have an argument like we did last week. It's where we suggest a new rule for the Formula One or something they could change to improve it. And I want to start with mine, and I'm going to just give Elliot work credit because he did really add steroids to this idea. And my idea is that in schools, there's a lot of criticism from some parents nowadays that everyone gets a medal, right? If you win the race, you get a medal. If you can't be asked and you get last, you still win a fucking medal, right? Some people are like, that's great because everyone's included, no one feels left out. Other people go, well, if you win, you should win, and if you don't, you don't. So then it got me thinking about the podium at the end and how there's 17 drivers that are excluded from that podium, and some of them probably feel quite bad. So I thought, why not have everyone on the podium? I said all 20 have to go on the podium, right? And they all have to squeeze on, right? And only the people who win get to stay.
On the three
Yeah,
bits of the podium.
Oh, yeah.
No, there's no free because you don't
Like
say
a
who
school
win-
photo.
Yeah, it's like a school photo, right? But
Oh,
this
yeah.
is the best bit. And this is the bit Elliot added because I said everyone gets on, everyone gets a medal, and it's really not clear who won. And it's like, who won? Did Lewis win? And he's up the back, same medal as like Bottas is there, he's got a medal. The one of the other 20 have got a medal. Everyone's got a medal.
Yeah, Luke,
But then
he could have
Elliot
named
came
one
up
of
with this
them.
great idea where he said, in a way to sort of like passively, aggressively, which is generally Elliot's position on most things, to kind of make this better, is no one gets a medal, but you get a bottle of champagne based on how well you did in the race. right? So if you're first, you get a massive bottle of champagne. If you're second, sort of big, third thing, and then for everyone else, they get those tiny little bottles of champagne,
Like
and then
the
they have
Prosecco bottle.
no, tiny, like they're really small,
Like the
and then
ones
they
that have
just
got bubbles
split
in at a
spray
wedding.
each other.
like bubbles, right? And then they have a big champagne fight, but because you didn't win the race, you've got nothing to defend yourself with. So Lewis is just smashing Tsunoda in the face with his like flute of champagne, this big thing, and he's just like blowing his little bubbles, and that's the end. That's my idea. Right, because I sometimes switch off. I switch like once the race has won,
Oh, yeah,
I
I've
switch
never
off
watched
because
the
I go,
podium.
I can't really be bothered. If I knew that was going to happen, I'd be like, I want to see what happens because someone could fight Lewis. They could get his
Yeah.
champagne, use it against him. Like it's a whole new sport.
They should maybe
you
go
wanna
into
add
an
like a-
arena
like a-
as well, like a little
yeah, like a
Quasar
battle
arena.
royale,
And it's
yeah.
time to
like
it's
if
time
you
to
leave the
defend.
podium, you're out, and it's the last one in the
Yeah.
podium. But because
that's
you won
another
the
point.
race, you
Yeah.
another point.
Can
That's fine.
Steiner come in out of nowhere though, like an Ultimate Warrior, run in with a big bottle, and just pump a load, like just sort of like do a Royal Rumble sort of thing? I don't know. No, that's a good idea. I like
Yeah,
it.
I think it will add it because I always switch off as soon as they like the race is over. I'm out. I turn it.
And,
over.
and let's
I
be
don't-
honest, Formula
I'll
One
watch
is
podium.
is the capitalist sport, right? So if we
Yeah.
can prove that people will stay online for longer watching it, that's more ad spend, that's more eyeballs, that's more money, it's more revenue for the Formula One.
Yeah.
And I think if you prove it, there's no way they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think I can't argue with that. It'd be way more exciting. I'd love to see Tsunoda try to pour like a bottle of bubbles over Lewis
Oh,
Hamilton.
you've had
But
to
could
say-
you imagine?
You'd
could you
have to see Sonoda blow what?
blow a lot of bubbles.
Okay, fine. I thought yeah.
Could you
I
imagine
mean,
Tsunoda actually
I
won
mean,
it,
I'd-
though?
I'd-
He got the.
He wouldn't be
Let's
able
not
to
go
lift the
there,
Magnum,
Ben.
would he? He wouldn't be able to lift the Magnum, would he? Tsunoda? It's about his
No, that's what
size
I'm
of him.
saying. He wouldn't be able to lift
Same
it up.
height.
He'd have to put it on his shoulder
Yeah.
like a bazooka and just go, if someone shake it from behind, up. Cannon fodder. No, do you know what he do? You know, in the old like, war
It's a
days.
two-man job.
Yeah,
You know, in
help
the war
me.
days when there's, you know, in the war when there's two of them in that bunker, they drop it and they turn around and put their fingers in their ears and it just pumps up. That'd be Tsunoda.
Like mortar.
Yeah, yeah,
Take that, guys.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Right, yeah, but yeah, great idea. I think it would add a lot to the end of the race. It would make me watch.
I
longer.
always watch the podiums though. To be fair, like I always watch them.
Sad git.
Don't you like watching the interviews after when? they've
Well,
had an
we've just
absolute-
if
I'll
you
watch it
watch
later.
it, if you watch it, and me and Ben didn't watch it, we've just proved that there's a 66% of viewers are tuning out. It's a missed opportunity. Right, let's do yours because we're hitting the
Go
end
on,
of the end of the hour.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I had to sort of make my one up about a minute ago.
We
'cause I
all
forgot
made them
about it. Mine's, not
Boyd-
even, mine's not even worthy.
Go
It's
on, go for it.
pathetic.
Because my one's really good. So
No,
I've
I'm
even
not
put
I
pro-
don't
I've
know.
even
No,
written-
Boyd, we won't talk about yours for ages. Just tell us what it was.
I've even written pros. and
No,
cons
I'm literally
on
just
mine.
going to make this up right this second.
Okay, go
Go on then.
go.
So I think throughout the race, at some point, you have to pit stop. The driver has to get out of the car, do 20 press ups, get back in, and that is everyone's opportunity to potentially get back in the race.
Yeah,
and like
They're
I think that's
little
a good idea.
fitness tests.
Because you
I
know, like
it.
you know, you pit stop. They go the average pit stop's like 25 seconds. They're gonna go like you imagine Tsunoda getting out and pumping 20 press ups. He ain't gonna be able to do it as quick
Yeah.
as like Leclerc or like someone who's a bit fitter.
Well,
Right?
you
So
don't know.
they're gonna lose a lot of time. Do you know what I mean?
I like
But
the
that was
idea
my
of
little-
adding
that
that
was my
little
little
like
plan.
that little fitness element to it.
Yeah, like imagine
But
seeing
I
them
think
pull
they
in.
should have to get out, do like a Takeshi's Castle kind of like Ninja
Yeah, yeah.
Warrior
Yeah.
thing down the pit lane. Why are they like? And they can that.
But you know
Why-
they
why-
struggle to get out of the car anyway because
Yeah.
first of all they've got to take the steering wheel off, get out, they've got to put the steering wheel back on, then do the press ups, then take the steering wheel back off, get in, put the thing back on, then go, and then do the radio check, then go out again. So that is
Yeah.
that could
How
be
many
vital.
press ups?
20.
That's. I mean,
What
How long does it
about
take you-
if to make
I
it
think
like
that'd
if we took that idea, but we kind of added some DRS into the mix, right? If you're last, you only have to do one, and if you're first, you
Yeah.
have to do 20.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
yeah.
But I
That's
suppose
good.
it all still hinges on how quick you can get out of the car. But I suppose when you come in, you know they've always got the little things ready to lift the car to the tyres. There's a load of men ready to just grab like both their arms and like lift them out like a little
Yeah, like-
lemming, throw them over to the
like
thing.
like circus acrobats, like pull them out.
And they have to do the press ups in the middle of the road where like they pull back out to come out.
So we
get
get
back
to
on the
watch.
track. So you get to block the road as well, basically. So
Yeah.
I thought that was quite a funny
I
idea.
thought it was all right.
Yeah,
Ben.
I like that. Right, okay. Let me just open my notes because there's quite a lot of detail on this one. Right, so this is my F1 rule change. When
I mean,
it's
you've got
time for
15 seconds.
when it's time for a sprint race, they should do it. They shouldn't do a qualifying. The sprint race grid lineup should be the reverse of the current driver championship standings. So they start with the sprint.
Mate,
We've lost you,
and
Brussels.
it's like Latifi,
Brussels come in.
Wait, Brussels.
Guan
JCVD.
Yu,
Mate, we just
all
like we didn't hear any of that.
We lost you
Oh,
there,
no,
mate.
right, okay. So
Yeah, you
it's-
cut out.
Oh, start again. Right. So the the sprint races shouldn't have a qualifying. It should be the reverse order of the driver standing. So Latifi will be at the front of the sprint race, and it would work back. So Max and that are at the back, and they have to which they would do anyway. But that way,
Yeah, but it just end the other way round again, like our queuing fucking IB for Brad. We'd start at the back and then
Mate,
just
that was
catch
that
up
was
on it.
no, it would be brilliant.
Do you know what I
What I liked about Ben's idea was that he got flustered because his internet dropped out, and then when he came back in, he was like a kid trying to tell a story. He's like, so
Gage, your
basically,
idea.
what happened was I went to the park, and there were some big boys at the park.
Yeah.
Gage, your idea was so bad, even the internet gave
It
up.
was
It went,
good.
"Oh, we don't want to
Right.
hear this. Just
The
spin it off.
sprint race should be
Your
shouldn't have
dial-up
a
internet.
qualifying. The sprint race shouldn't have a qualifying. That is it. It
Right,
should be
fine.
the reverse of the driver's
Well, so
standings.
it's a reverse of where you are in the championship. So if you're
Yeah.
last, you're first
You're-
in the sprint race.
yeah.
Mate, there'd be so many accidents.
Well, look at my listen.
Can
To my
you
pros
Yeah,
and
it would be
cons.
interesting.
Positives, it will give Nicholas Latifi his time to shine. Negatives, it will give Nicholas Latifi his time
What,
to
round
cause a
corner?
crash at turn 1.
Mate, that basically was Max at the weekend. Like last
Oh, yeah,
weekend,
we-
that basically
well,
was
yeah,
him.
exactly,
So
but
10th,
that-
just like whizzing. He was just whizzing around people. Brilliant.
Exactly. So that
He was just
I
flying
think that
past people
way
that weren't
the
even
sprint
there, it's
race
not even
becomes
hard
a
for
bit
him.
more like this is our opportunity to get a better qualifying rather than okay, we're qualifying, then we sprint race, which is basically a qualifying again, which just defeats the object. I think if you make it
I mean,
The
it
sprint
is,
race-
it is a wild idea, but having Vicky watch Drive to Survive with me and explaining some of the rules to her, she just keeps going, that's massively unfair. Like, everything's unfair. And I'm like, yeah, no, they have to keep making unfair rules up because it got really boring.
Another rule I think would be good is, it's a quick one, is well, I would love to see a race one week if every driver had the Red Bull car, exactly the same car, 20 of them on the grid, and just see what happens. Like, I reckon people like Lando Norris would be up there fighting for a podium.
I reckon
I
Lando
think that
Norris
would be
probably would
fair
be in the top 3 if he had a Red Bull car. I'm surprised
He's up
they
there,
haven't
yeah,
they haven't
100%.
tried to
So
buy
basically,
him.
yeah. We've just made up a really good race though. So with Brad's champagne, let's call it like war zone at the end, with my press ups, like fitness thing, and then Ben's reverse grid. Imagine that was so the grid starts in reverse, the race starts in the middle of the race, they have to do the press ups, and then at the end, you're going to see a really weird podium with either big bottles or small bottles of champagne getting blitzed. What
The-
race?
the
It sounds
champagne
amazing.
bubbles.
Champagne,
Yeah,
bubbles.
Champagne
yeah.
bubbles.
Champagnes
Yeah.
and steam rooms, guys.
That would be a banging race.
I would really enjoy that. It would just add that little bit of extra like enjoyment to the slightly boring bits of Formula One.
I've
Not that there
also
are
just
any
thought about
boring bits.
something with my business brain on here. I'm just thinking about a huge advantage we have as a podcast that others just simply don't have. When the drivers are in their summer break, whatever they call it, the little rest they have, I reckon the other podcasts are going to be like, "What the fuck are we going to talk about this week?" We barely speak about anything to do with what happened in the race anyway.
Yeah.
So we're really training ourselves, and consistency wins the race. And I think that's
does,
why
yeah.
we'll come out as the number one F1 podcast.
I think there'll probably be
100%.
people out there researching carbon fiber brake ducts, and that'll be an hour for them. And we'll talk about blowing bubbles on a podium with 20 drivers on it, and that is
Yeah, but
why
we've
we
got-
will win because that sounds way more exciting.
And we've got fun games hosted by Pat Sharp. I mean, Brad Keenan. Do you know what I mean?
I'm glad we did it today. To be honest, I got to this afternoon and I was just like, I can't be fucked to do this, but I'm really glad we did do it. It was
I
fun.
was the
think
same actually. Festivaled
Thank you.
out
I-
today,
I-
sort of hanging.
Yeah, you're
It's
coming
fun.
down. Are you?
When I get on here, boys, and I see your little faces, I actually quite enjoy it. It's nice. I don't want to leave you now.
Well, I was going to say our goodbyes and tell everyone that they need to like, subscribe, and please leave a review on iTunes and say we're better than the people that talk about carbon fiber.
Like, I'm
exactly.
pretty sure. I don't know much about the algorithms in Spotify and the podcast store or whatever, but I'm pretty sure even if you review us badly, we will rank higher than most podcasts that don't get any reviews. So even if you go on there and say they don't know anything about Formula One, they don't do that. Say they don't. Yeah, no. The best thing to do is review us, but say these guys don't know anything about Formula One. 5 stars.
5 stars.
Yeah.
Literally no new information. 5 stars. Everything should be 5 stars, but say the truth in the text, but the stars should always be 5.
And also, I want to debate the fact that we don't talk about anything new or no new information. We've just come up with 3 completely new rules for Formula One.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And we've got a guy on
freestyling. Yeah, exactly. Who got a bit rowdy,
mate? You got to bleep again.
What?
You got to bleep it.
Not bleep. I'm just going to leave it in if want to kick off. What's he going to do?
Just say it another 10 times.
Mate, trust me. This is what I do, right? If someone in marketing at that company hears that, they will think they will think he was he was a real person. That's why they'll think he's a real person. And then they'll be trying to find out who in the business it is. It'll be a big drama. You just got to bleep it out because otherwise it'll just be a big drama.
So we've got to bleep out because of the guy came on from
people at. But what you can do is you can run this through something like otter.ai and then
find where
quick fit and it'll give
said.
Yeah.
Quick
so bleep all that out.
It's just going to basically be like a Morse code. It'll be like beep, 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 minute.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to Three Prix. If you want to know what we've bleeped out, if you want to know what is and what we've bleeped out, drop us a message on Instagram. We'll tell you straight away. But yeah, thank you, Brad, Frank, Boyd.
There's no point in bleeping it out then, is there?
Right, thanks, guys.
Ben, if you do see Jean-Claude Van Damme out there, though, can you get his autograph for me, yeah?
I've never met him.
The muscles from Brussels. That's fun. All right, well, look, boys, it's been a pleasure.
Peace.
Yeah.
Everybody has a target on their backs next year.